So we'll move on to the theories of dividend policy. So we'll start with a residual theory. So this theory is a very interesting theory. It says if the company has an investment opportunity, if investment opportunities are available, then the company should not pay the dividend. Instead, they should invest in the opportunity which is available. If the company has no investment opportunities, then they can pay the dividend. For example, the net profit after interest, tax and preference dividend should first go into capital investment. Okay, so whenever there's an opportunity, first utilize that. Whatever is remaining after utilizing for capital investment, that can be paid as dividends. So that is what residual theory suggests. So what happens here is the dividends fluctuate because every year the investment opportunities keep differing. So every year we can't like promise a constant uh, dividend per share. What we can maximum do is after the paying the capital investment, we'll pay whatever it is. So at one point of time, this becomes the irregular dividend policy. So shareholders are not like affected because of this, because what happens is every shareholder needs two things. One is dividend he wants, or two, he needs capital appreciation in the share price. Okay, these two things he want. So it works like this: if the company declares high dividend, then he doesn't want much of capital appreciation. Okay, but if the company declares no dividend, then he wants more capital appreciation. So it works like vice versa. If the company can give both, then he will be like very happy, but that doesn't happen at all. So the company can either increase one and decrease the other one. Okay, and vice versa, they can do it. So we'll move on to the next theory. It's called as irrelevance theory. This is a very interesting kind of a theory. So this theory states that dividend decisions does not affect the shareholders' wealth as well as the value of the firm. So in this one, they say that it doesn't matter whether the company has a dividend policy or not, because the this theory suggests that even if the company is not declaring any dividend, okay, the shareholder can create his own dividend policy. Okay, sounds very different. So even if the company does not have a dividend policy, the shareholder himself can create a dividend policy. How can he create a dividend policy? For example, you can see here when dividends are not declared, okay, the share price which a shareholder has is 10 rupees. Dividends are 0. So as there is no dividend, the share price will also be constant. So the total worth of the shareholder's wealth is the dividend of 0 plus a 10 of share price. So he will be having the same 10 rupees of worth. If dividends are declared, what would happen? If dividends are declared, okay, if a company declares a dividend, the share price will proportionately fall. So if the company declares 1 rupee as a dividend, the share price will become 9. So the share price is 9 rupees. Okay, the new share price is 9 rupees and the dividend is 1 rupee and the shareholder wealth is 10 rupees. So it works in the same way. For example, we'll take like the same company is declaring a dividend of 3 rupees. The share price will fall by 7 rupees. So 3 plus 7 will again give you the same 10. Okay, so the logic works like this. He says that, okay, the theory states that the share price will fall in tune with the dividends declared. So even if the company does not have a policy, the shareholder can create his own policy. So whether the company declares dividend or it doesn't declare dividend, the wealth of the shareholder remains same. Okay, so we'll move on to the next theory. It's called as dividends relevance theory. So what is a relevance theory? Relevance theory states that a company should have a dividend policy. Okay, so that's what relevance theory says. See, dividends are not just amounts which is given to the shareholders. Dividends are also a signal that is sent to the shareholder from the company. Why? How can that can be a signal? Whenever a company announces an increase in dividend, okay, it can be taken out mostly as positively in the market and helps in building a very positive image for the company regarding the growth prospects and the stability in the future. For example, if you are running a company and you are declaring a good dividend and you say that next year I'm going to increase the dividend, it means that you are very confident in the ability of your company that it will make profit in the next year. So whenever you declare a high dividend, you are sending out a statement or a message to the shareholders that you are very confident. Okay, but a sudden cut in dividend will have a sudden cut in the dividend will have significant impact upon the equity share value. So you should not cut a dividend very quickly. If you cut a dividend, that sends a signal that the company is not able to pay dividends at all. So the company is expecting a fall in profit or bad times. So as a result, companies tend to adopt a stable dividend policy and keep shareholders informed of any changes. So what should we do? As dividend also works as a signal to the shareholders, we should send the signals very carefully. Okay. So just because we have high profit, we should not give a very high dividend. And just because we have a loss, we should not cut the dividends. So what should we do is we should have a stable policy. And if anything happens suddenly, we have to send a message saying that we are going to reduce the dividend because of these things and the share price will change accordingly. So dividends acts as a signal. So how do you use these theories in your exam? In your exam, you should be like comfortable with all these theories. And whenever a question comes to you saying that the company wants to create a dividend policy uh, or the company wants to cut its dividends, do you think shareholders will react? So it depends upon the theory. In some theory, for example, in irrelevance theory, it says that shareholders will not react, but in relevance theory, it states that the shareholders will react. Okay, so whether shareholders will react or not react, both there are two theories here. You have to remember both the theories and you have to write both the theories as answer and say that these theories are indicating like this. Okay, and you can make a conclusion. The conclusion depends upon your view. So the conclusion is your view, but you have to state the. You can reach me at my website wowacademics.com, or you can also see my Quora answers. I am active in LinkedIn and in Facebook page. So you can visit at these places. If you just type Sham Prasad and Wow Academics, you will get all these links in Google search itself. And if you like this video, give a like, share to your friends, and if you feel that any points we have missed in this video, you can post it. We will try to give an answer to you in the comment section itself, or we'll also create another video for you. So thank you for watching our video.